Guys, I hope that you're hungry because it's breakfast time. Some of you may have noticed kind of a change in my voice a little bit and the lack of another voice. And that's because I've asked Jeff to step down as segment analyst on our beloved show. It was not an easy decision. It wasn't something I came to lightly, but it was something that needed to be done. After some of the comments he made on the last show, I couldn't in good faith have him back. And so Jeff is having some personal time, and I hope he's figuring out his issue, plural. But we are moving on. I am going to be taking this show on my own. And I think that it's going to be streamlined. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be more efficient. We're not going to get distracted by Jeff's personal diary stuff anymore. And I am excited moving forward. So I'm going to kick it off with the injury report. Starting out with Dalton Kincaid. He's got a little knee injury. Looks like it was a PCL strain. Week to week. Bent it pretty bad. But we're hopeful that he'll be back soon. Trevor Lawrence was out. This one kind of screwed me over, actually. I didn't know Trevor Lawrence was going to be out. He got banged up last week, and then he came back in the game and played it. He finished it. I thought it was all good. Turns out, no, he's not playing. They put in Mac Jones. If I had known that, if Jeff had done his job last week and gave me a clear injury report, I would not have started Brian Thomas as the leading receiver on the Jaguars, who laid a stinker on my team this week. So still feeling the repercussions of Jeff's lack of effort last week and kind of giving up on the show. It is hurting a lot of people, and probably me the most, I would say. Some other injuries happened. Nothing too crazy. A couple fibulas, a couple kneecaps. Aaron Jones banged up. He'll be fine. Najee was banged up. Malik Neighbors took a shot. Yeah, we're good. We're good for injuries. Let's move on into the meat and potatoes of the show. This is the breakfast breakdown. I'm going to start with the match of the week. We had Sib Safety, that's Jeff, Sib Safety versus Jeff. This was kind of a sibling showdown. And Sib Safety took the win. I think a lot of us saw it coming, but they did it with ease. They did it with something that I want to point out, 100% accuracy. If you look at their start sit, they have a 100% accuracy. They left no points on the bench. Perfect start for Sib Safety. Whereas you look at Jeff, you look at Love Hurts, it's mismanagement all over the place. Josh Downs on his bench, 14.2 points. Juwan Jennings on the bench, 16.3 points. Jeff's not going to get away with that kind of laziness, and I'm actually glad he didn't get away with it because he needs to know that. Sib Safety took the win. As much as I hate to see it, it needed to happen. Congratulations to Sib Safety. Next match was Bear Me versus Bear Necessities. This was the story of two bears, and one of the bears barely made it out alive, and unfortunately that was me. I don't even want to talk about this week, to be honest, but I have to because it's my job and I'm going to do it. I fudged up, guys. I started Brian Thomas. I should have started James Conner. I started Justin Jefferson. That was a mistake. I should have started Calvin Ridley. These are the kind of things that start to compile. And the whole time, I was up against the Joe Show. Joe Burrow on Jeff's team, just dropping bombs. I couldn't overcome it, and I took the loss. And I think that's, after starting 4-0, I'm kind of forgotten how to win. I'm scrambling, to be honest, guys, and I don't know what to do. All I can do is look forward to next week and never give up. And I'm never going to give up. And I might be in the bottom bracket. I might be in the loser bracket, and I might stay in the loser bracket. I don't know, but I'm never going to give up. I always think of myself as that mouse that fell in a bucket of cream. And, I got other mice around me, and they're struggling in this bucket of cream. They've also fallen in, and they give up, and they drown in the cream. But I struggle and struggle and struggle, and I'm going to struggle so hard I'm going to turn that cream into butter, and I'm going to climb out of this bucket, okay? That's the kind of player I am, and I'm not going to be deterred from my final goal, which is out of the pancake house. I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to speak positivity, and I'm not going to let these scores and these losses on losses on losses on losses take me down. Next match of the week, Eggs and Bacon versus Nom Nom Nom. Again, just a real testament to Rob's tenacity. Perfect accuracy on start-sit decisions for Rob. 100% accuracy, yet still he could not overcome the defense and kicker guru of the league, Eggs and Bacon, once again showing us how it's done. 24 points Andrew's team put up. The defense, 24 points. Like, get out of here. How are you gonna beat that? You can't. And even though Nom 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 had perfect accuracy on a start sit, he took the L. Next up we have Rocks in a Pouch versus Camera. And this is a cool one. I'm just going to pull up some of the stats here. This is the shepherd boy who won't die. Many foes may rise up against him, but his trust is in something much greater than himself. He prevails again, and he pulls a win from the wolf. This is a shepherd protecting his flock against the wolf. And he has that staff of correction in his hand, and he's saying, stand back. He puts the wolf in his place. 84 points for the wolf. This is a testament to, I think, being led by something higher than yourself. Don't tell me, David, that it was of your own will, your own understanding that you started Chuba Hubbard. 24 points for Chuba Hubbard. That was the supernatural start of the week. Okay? That's a new thing we're going to be having in the show. Supernatural start of the week. David with the supernatural start of the week. Chuba Hubbard, 24 points. That's impressive. I love to see it. The only thing against David on this week was he's still struggling with his tight end start-sits decision. He put in Kate Otten this week. It should have been Evan Ingram. Missed out on some points, but we're not going to get stuck in the weeds. We're going to focus on the bigger picture, which is David rising against his foes and pulling out a win away from the wolf. Congratulations. Cam, he's kind of getting a bit of a reputation. He's streaky. He either is going to blow you out of the water and get most points in the week, or he's sub 100 and floundering. It's interesting. It feels like a mind game, to be honest. I still think he's playing with us. I still think he's toying with us. But we'll see what happens in the end when the wins really matter. Wrapping up here, last match was Cook, Lion, and Thinker versus Gerby the Love Bug. This was a tough one. I don't think I've ever seen a team so dead in the water after Thursday night as Braden was. Gerb's team between Jackson and Chase had 88.3 points at the end of Thursday night. There was never hope for Braden in this. And I think although he gave a solid performance, he got ran over by an absolute steam engine. And I got to say this is kind of an important moment on the show. We don't do this a lot, but we're going to have to change the name because it just doesn't fit. There is no Gerby the Love Bug anymore. It is only the Gerbinator. He has risen above everything we could have even thought was possible. He is an absolute force in this league. I don't know what he is doing. This kind of reminds me of going back to David's team, where it feels like he's tapping into a higher power. There's something he knows that we don't know. I know that Gerbs has his own football podcast. I'm thinking about maybe some of you guys need to tune into that one a little bit more, because whatever he knows it. And he is rolling over this league, and I don't know who's going to stop him at this point. It's scary. Do I have to play him again? I don't even know. I'm scared for you. I'm scared for whoever has to play him next. Kudos to Gerbs. I don't have enough to say about him. It's just impressive. Looking forward, match of the week, Armo. It has to be two of the hottest teams right now. We were just talking about them. It's Rocks in a Pouch, and it's the Gerbinator. It's the two teams who have figured out how to tap into something higher. You know? Rocks in a Pouch, his trust is not in his own ability. It's in something higher. Gerbinator, more of a mystery, really. But he's tapped into something outside of what we know. And I want to see, when it comes down to it, when they face each other, who's going to win? Who's going to take the title of hottest team in the league? We're all going to be watching. It's the match of the week. Got to tune in, guys. This is great stuff. Moving on, next segment. Next segment is a pancake meter. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Pancake meter is broken. You know, as we're going through the league, I thought Jeff was working with Al to create accurate results. And we started to see cracks in the system. And I knew they were there. And I'm going to own responsibility for that. I should have taken the reins away from Jeff a whole lot earlier. I shouldn't have let him off on his own. I kind of gave him that. I let him do that. I trusted him with that. And he broke all our trust. And I want to apologize to many of you who have been improperly ranked for weeks. That is devastating. I apologize. I own that. This needs to be fixed, and it will be fixed. I promise you it will be fixed. But I'm not ready. I'm not going to rush into this. And I'm not ready. It's not ready. And you've been lied to for too long. And I'm not going to sit here 1 week out of Al taking over the show and tell you it's all sorted. It's not all sorted. There's a lot of stuff I need to work through. And the more I'm digging into this week and the prep and kind of seeing what Jeff's been doing, the more I'm seeing, wow, stuff was falling through the cracks I didn't even know. I got a lot of stuff I got to fix up with this show, and Pancake Meter is number one on the list, so I apologize. We will be back next week. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm gonna figure this out, and we're gonna get back to accurate rankings on the Pancake Meter. I appreciate your patience, guys. We are going to move on to our final segment, and I should say it's actually not the final segment. I actually got a bit of a surprise that I haven't really mentioned yet. It's going to be it's kind of a special segment, something that's pretty personal, pretty kind of intimate, but I want to let you guys in on something. I want to pull the curtains back. I want to be honest and upfront with you. I think I owe that to you. So after our locked and loaded bets of the week, stick around for Very special, very personal, very intimate segment. I want you guys to hear this, and I need you guys to hear it because I think it's going to help shed a lot of light onto some of the stuff I've been dealing with on the show. But without further ado, let's get to Cam and our locked and loaded bets of the week.
What's up?
Cameron, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing so good. I'm actually recording solo this week. Jeff, for some personal reasons, I've asked him to temporarily or permanently, I don't know, step away from the show. But we are back. We're not going to miss a week, and I'm running this show on my own. I want to thank you, Cam, for all the editing that you're going to be doing on the show and that putting it together. I think Jeff has been doing that in the past. There's definitely been some hiccups in kind of the background stuff, and so having you kind of take over that aspect is going to be a real breath of fresh air. So first of all, Cam, thank you for all your hard work that the way you've stepped up in this show and taken on a kind of a bigger role. It's really means a lot.
Absolutely. Happy to be able to help and pitch in when I can.
Yeah. But what would we be, Cam, if we didn't have our locked and loaded bets of the week?
Probably a little poorer. Am I right?
Yes. And I love the way when I put you under the gun Thursday night, I said, Cam, hit me with the parlay. I need it quick. You whipped it together in no time at all, and we hit big. I think I was up 8-9 units on that. That was like,
I love that.
Those are the moments. That is why we do this.
That's what you live for. That's what I live for. Man, what a game. It was a great start to the week, too. We just kept it rolling. Took those winnings from that parlay. Kept it nice and simple, too. Just 2 anytime touchdowns to 10x our money. I love that. Yeah, we kept that rolling. Picked 2 winners for Sunday.
Heck yeah.
I absolutely love doing that. That might be the first time it's happened all year. And then on the Sunday Lotto parlay, I think we got kind of close. I think we just needed Saints, Falcons to go over, and then the Vikings to cover 7 points there. In both games, I mean, so frustrating. In the fourth quarter, felt like we had endless opportunities to get there, but it just fell through.
And you know what, though, Cam? A wise man once told me, straights pay for the lays, baby, and you're not going to hit the lays every time. But when you start hitting some of those straights, it gives you that freedom to know, hey, we're going back to the lays. We're not giving up on them. We're close. We're so close. We got a little bit of the due-ness this past week, and I still think we have some left in the tank.
That is, I couldn't have put it better. I did see last week underdogs were 11-3 against the spread.
Frick.
So only 3 favorites covered. We had one of them in the Eagles, and I think it was the least sweaty bet I've ever placed in my life. I forget what the spread was, but that game was not even close.
Easy money,
and we just rolled that forward. Last week we talked about due-ness. Maybe this week we talk about compounding rate of return. We take those winnings, we throw them down again, and we just start to exponentially grow our money.
I love it. How are we going to invest in ourselves this week, Cam?
For our sunny side upset of the week, this week's slate, there's a lot of games I like, not a lot of underdogs I like. But I think the one this first bet, it's kind of gross, but I think you kind of just have to do it. It's the Chiefs plus 2.5 versus the Bills. Gonna take the points, but yeah, I don't know. While the Chiefs probably shouldn't be, what are they, 9-0, 10-0? They just managed to find wins, and yep. I think you can't overlook that. And I think they keep that rolling. They don't always win the prettiest, but they do win. And last week, you saw firsthand that Josh Allen is the Dolphins' daddy, I think this week we see and are reminded that Patty Mahomes is the Bills' daddy.
Yeah, and Patty's been my granddaddy for quite a while. I know him well.
Wow.
And you're spot on. Absolutely.
Wow. So good. So good. It's disgusting. I don't think any of us want to see the Chiefs win, but I think they keep it going.
Yeah.
For over easy lock of the week, there's a lot of games that I could have chosen from, but the one I ended up going with was Ravens -3 versus Steelers.
Wow.
I've been hearing some talk about maybe we got to look into the Commanders. Maybe the Commanders are fraudulent. I think we need to have that same conversation with the Steelers. Here, let me read out the Steelers' schedule this year. Started the 18-10 win versus Falcons week 1. Falcons, first week at Kirko. They weren't in a position to win. Then followed up with 13-6 win versus the Broncos. 20-10 win versus a banged-up Chargers team. 27-24 loss versus the Colts and Anthony Richardson. Yikes. 2017 loss versus the Cowboys. Disgusting. And then 32-13 win versus the Raiders. 37-15 win versus the Jets. 26-18 versus the Giants. And a 28-27 win versus the Commanders. There's not many elite teams in there. So while they're 7-2, I don't know if they've been tested yet. And his Ravens team is dominant.
Yeah.
They look so good. Lamar's going to win another MVP.
Yeah. Easy.
I like the Ravens. Maybe it's a little bit of bias coming in here. Steelers had a big injury last week with Alex Highsmith going out. I just see the Ravens running away with this one. I don't know. 3 points. 3 points isn't too much.
No.
We have it at just -3. There's no half-point hook. So even if they win by a field goal, I mean that's at least a push. I like the Ravens here.
Yeah, you have to like the Ravens. Steelers are walking into the first test of the season, and they haven't studied. They are due to fall on their face, Cam. You nailed that one. Let's lock it in, guys. You want to roll in the money this week? You gotta tail these. Lock it in. Ravens -3. I love it.
Lottery time?
Heck yeah, my favorite time.
Oh, I love it. This is what I like. Simple 6 legs. Once we lock these in, I don't see any of them losing. I think this is a lock. Here we go. Commanders, Eagles, over 48.5. This one hurts me a little bit. Packers -5.5 versus the Bears. You could make that -100, and I would still take the Packers.
You know what,
New England,
Cam? Can I just say,
43.5.
Cam? I got to interrupt you here.
Yes.
Thank God Jeff's not here.
I know. He would just be.
He would be roasting,
salivating in the corner, doing despicable things.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
I'm glad he didn't have to hear that. But I am proud of you, Cam, for using your head over your heart on that one.
Yeah.
So that was Packers, what, -3?
Packers -5.5.
Sheesh.
That's not too many points. I think maybe Vegas is kind of scared that Jordan Love doesn't play, but even then, like, come on. It's the Bears.
Have they fired all their
suck.
coaches? The Bears, did they fire their head coach yet?
No. They typically don't fire head coaches during the season, so that will have to wait till after the season. Did fire the offensive coordinator, though.
He's a bit of a dead man walking, though.
Yeah, I think so.
That's almost worse. Like, just, it kind of goes back to what we talked about early on in the show. You got a sick dog, put him down. Just don't let him walk around foaming at the mouth. Eberflus has got to go.
I agree.
Bring him to the shed and put him down.
I agree, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're like. I don't even know if it's more respectful to leave him around for the season. Like,
no, you're parading him in the streets.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
Waiting to pin more blame on him, like I don't know. It does feel weird.
That's cruel, is what it is. It's cruel.
Yeah, and you set your team up for more failure. Like, what if or we've seen it, or maybe are seeing it with the Colts. Like, I don't think Steichen's on the hot seat yet, but maybe he's got incentive to put Flacco in so he can win some games, keep his job secure, and maybe they just need to be starting Richardson. I don't know.
That's above my pay grade. I'll say that.
Above mine too.
Anyways, we're 2 legs deep in this. We got 4 more to go. Sorry I interrupted you there, Cam. I just had to pipe up there.
We needed that timeout. That was it. I felt like, we did need to say something about that game. I thought of making that game the lock of the week, but I thought almost too easy. Too easy. We need a little bit to feel something. But, so we got Commanders, Eagles over 48.5. Packers minus 5.5 versus the Bears. Rams, New England over 43.5. Vikings, Titans under 39.5. Titans defense is good. Sam Darnold might be turning back into a pumpkin. Maybe under. Bengals, Chargers over 47.5. And then Dolphins minus 7 versus the Raiders.
Thank you.
I think the Dolphins, I didn't think the Dolphins looked that bad last week. That opening drive was phenomenal, and then they kind of just stalled out. But the Raiders are not good. The Raiders don't have any offense. I think the Dolphins can easily cover 7 there.
Yeah.
Just 6 legs. 6 legs works out to plus 4,951 on FanDuel. So $10 wins us about $500. That's what I'm in for. Again, keeping it light, recognizing this is a lottery ticket. But, again, I don't see how any of these legs don't hit.
I have a question for you, Cam.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's ever won the lottery without buying a lottery ticket?
Wow. No.
Yeah, me neither.
That's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Buy your ticket, guys. You don't. I love Cam. I don't bring Cam here just for fun. I bring him because he's an expert, and we need an expert to tell us how to double, triple, quadruple our money. This isn't a fun little session at the end of the show. This is what's going to make or break the bank at the end of the year. Stop being sissies and buy the tickets.
Amen.
I know some of you guys out there.
Tickets to on a rocket ship that's only going up.
And we're going up. I'll go to space without you if I have to, guys, but I would love for you to be with me on the ship. I know some of you guys out there are not, I haven't seen receipts in the chat. I want to see receipts, guys. Show me that you're actually putting your money where Cam's mouth is.
Yes.
I want to see a bit of activity in the chat. I want to see some FanDuel screenshots, Bet365 screenshots. What kind of other apps are you using, Cam?
DraftKings. Love DraftKings.
DraftKings.
Caesars is good too.
Whew.
You get pretty good prices on BetMGM, The Score.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate.
No,
we'll take any sportsbook's money. We're not picky.
Yeah, let's spread out the wins and the love and give our business to multiple gambling sites.
Yes.
And multiple bonuses, multiple, parlay offers. Woo! Don't tempt me with a good time.
Absolutely.
Cam, this has been exceptional. You are exceptional. Thank you for your willingness to jump up and fill Jeff's tiny shoes. And really, I think we need to throw his shoes out and give you a big new pair of shoes, because some of the work that you've been doing already, and I know some of the editing that you're going to be doing, is going to be high quality stuff on this show and bring it to the next level. So thank you, Cameron.
No problem. Happy to be, like I said before, happy to be able to help and pitch in. I appreciate everything you do, not only for this podcast, but for this league.
Appreciate it, Cam. Love you, bro.
Love you too.
See ya.
See ya.
Guys, I've opened up and been pretty personal on the show in the past, and vulnerability is not something that's new to me. But today, we're kind of breaking down the wall in a whole new way, and I want to invite you guys into something that is probably the most personal thing you could invite someone into, which is a therapy session that I've called For Myself. I want to welcome to the show Dr. Susan Stacy. She's a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist. Little backstory. I reached out to Susan a few weeks ago about Jeff's mental state. And I set up an emergency therapy session for Jeff. This was out of my own pocket, out of my own goodwill. And I reached out to Stacy because she's the best. She has expertise in dealing with people who are deeply disturbed. And I knew that she was someone that needed to speak into Jeff's situation. Stacy, before we started, can I ask, did Jeff show up to his session?
Yes, he did. He did show up. He was half an hour late.
Oh my god! You know what, Stacy? That is Jeff right now. He's a day late. He's $1 short. Well, he's more than $1 short right now. He is just short in almost every area of his life. Did he at least come to see that maybe everything falling down around him is not the fault of the people around him or his circumstances, but maybe the common denominator is him and it's his issues? Did he at least get to see that maybe?
Jeremy, I love your curiosity. I think that's great when you're dealing with interpersonal relationships. But my meeting with Jeff will be confidential. That's not something that I'm here to talk about.
Yes, that's professional, yeah.
You called the meeting, so I would love to hear more about your heart.
You know, and you are the expert, Susan, and I wouldn't expect you to stray from those rules you have. And of course you have that. I just think there was probably things that Jeff said about me. And if it's speaking about me, I think that I should have the right to speak into that and maybe clear the record of maybe some of the things he was saying about me. And maybe if you could just share just in what pertains to me. I don't need to know his dirty secrets. I don't want to know them. I don't want to know them. I know too many of them already, actually. I just need to know specifically to me, what was he saying about me?
I understand. But I think what we really need to be talking about is the way that this is making you feel. We need to talk about your feelings here.
Yeah.
And Jeff's feelings are important, but we're here to talk about Jeremy.
Wow. I can't. Honestly, I can't remember the last time someone actually just asked me about me. It definitely hasn't been Jeff. I'll say that. I guess I'm kind of struggling here because I don't know how to love Jeff. And I think I'm the last one holding him up. I'm feeding him. I'm sheltering him. I'm still giving him internet, which I probably shouldn't be at this point. And at what point do I cut him off? What does love require of me? And I am struggling to know when I'm enabling someone and when I'm waiting and maybe helping them, waiting for them to change.
Can I tell you what I'm hearing?
Please.
I'm hearing that you see Jeff not as a brother. You see him as an annoyance, a leech, if you will.
Yes.
But
that is right.
What we need to see you connect to that older brother spirit that I know you have.
Because I do.
You called this meeting and
I did.
And this session and so I think that's maybe something we need to tap into.
You're so right. I have that. I do have a real, protective older brother thing. And I guess sometimes I feel like I'm trying to protect Jeff from himself. And the only way I know how to do that is to attack him and attack that dark side of him.
Very common.
Yeah. trying to kind of scare it away from the little brother that I feel like I haven't seen in so long. I guess I want to be that brother. I want to connect with Jeff, but he's so cagey. He's dark. I go to the shed, I knock on the door, and I hear rustling in there, and then just silent. Like, it's like he's just pretending like I don't know he's in there. Like, he's obviously in there. I hear him at night with Al, talking to Al, but he won't talk to me. And how do I show him I love him and I care if he's not even going to talk to me? He's not even going to face me like a man. He shoots me a text saying when's supper, but he won't even talk to me when I go out to the shed. Like, what is? I don't know.
Jeremy, can I tell you what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lack of trust.
Yeah.
I'm really hearing a lack of trust.
He broke it.
And I don't know if that brotherly love can exist when there's no trust.
How do I trust him when I don't trust him? I want to trust him, and specifically with this show, I know it's something that he loves, and I love seeing him in it, and I want to trust him with that, but he's a serious liability on air. He's a serious liability, and I'm trying to create quality content, but still love my brother. And I'm hesitant to have him back on the show. I don't know if I should have him back. Is this going to help him grow? Can I grow as a brother with him in this? Or is this something that maybe I just need to say, no, you're done? I don't know. What do you think, Susan?
I can tell that this is very important to you, and I can hear your passion when you talk about the show, and
thank you.
You want it to be successful.
Yeah.
And so I think that those are valid concerns. But we also need to consider that other people are experiencing other things.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a delicate balance that we need to find there.
That is so true. Yeah, I guess I'm not really a balanced kind of guy, and I think that's what I needed to hear. I just want it to be one way or the other. I just want someone to tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And I get that, maybe we can't have that. Maybe I'm just going to have to listen to my heart. And maybe I'm just going to have to see if Jeff's willing to listen to his heart and allow him back into this sacred space of this podcast that I've created, and see if I can trust Jeff again back in this area. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for it, to be honest, but
I hear you.
Well, Susan, that's probably the end of my half hour. I don't know if I have much more of a budget for these sessions. Not that you're not worth it, 100% you are, but after Jeff wasted half an hour of your time already, I think I'm going to keep it short. I thank you, Susan. I know the audience thanks you. I think this is information that, as I am vulnerable and I share my session, not a therapy session, a counseling session. When I share my counseling session, I don't need therapy. It can help people in the league, maybe in their lives. And I think it could definitely help. There's definitely a few people in the league, let's say, who need some mental help. And I'm not going to specifically name names, but I wanted to share wisdom and insight, not only in fantasy football related content, but in this deeply emotional life stuff. And I always bring on the experts, and you are the expert.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the way you do psychotherapy and the way you kind of push the boundary of that, I know there's a lot of people that kind of hate on that sometimes and maybe call some of it inappropriate. But I think if you're not going to push the edge of the human mind, what are you doing this for? And I would say, especially, I think I still have a few minutes left in Jeff's session. Maybe, I don't know if some of this minutes you could transfer over to him, but push the boundary with him. Mm-hmm. Push him to the edge of himself. Mm-hmm. Push him over the edge. Because I think that's what he needs. He needs deep, deep psychotherapy. If you do the clamps, if you do the shocks, I don't know what you do, but do it all. He needs it all. 100%. So I'm not going to take any more of your time, Susan. Thank you for being on the show. Before we go, I just want to say, do you have any last words of insight for, let's say there's someone out there who is struggling and they're struggling to know how can they love their families but still put fantasy football in that place of importance where they're not going to slack. I think that's something that everyone in our league struggles with, is time with the family and fantasy football. And God forbid someone sets it aside because they can't find that balance. Don't tell me I stumped Dr. Sue. Don't tell me I stumped Dr. Sue.
I always tell my clients that there's always a benefit to having a passion. Passions are what drive us. They motivate us. They can influence our greatest fears. And so I would say if you've found a passion, then there are things in your life that should come to align with that passion.
Yes.
And so I think it's a matter of, bringing people together for that passion so that we can experience life and we can experience it fully.
Wow. Okay. That's why Susan's worth the big bucks. That's why she's with us today, guys. This is the kind of quality content that you're here for. And come back next week. I don't know. What the heck? Maybe we will have Dr. Sue back. I feel like we just tapped the surface of what we can learn. And I don't know. This was awesome. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Sue, and all the best in your practice.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck, Jeremy.
Guys, I thank you for sticking with me on this show, and I know it's been a different format this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you tune in again next week. I don't know what the show's going to look like, and I think this is it's a journey we're on together of discovering what this show really means and what it needs to mean and what it's about and who's involved and who's not involved. But one thing I know is this is important, and you're important, and I'm important to you, and I need you to tune in next week. We're going to be back. We're going to have great content, and we're in this together. Guys, I couldn't do it without you. Just the endless amount of PMs I've been getting of support and encouragement means the world. And I just want to encourage you, please write your thoughts in the chat. We want to hear back from you guys. What's some stuff you've taken away from the show? What's something you need to hear more of? And as I'm kind of reworking almost everything here, this is the time when I need to hear the most feedback from you guys. So please let me know in the chat, and I will see you there. Love you guys.